But we're still in this thing.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree?
Hello everyone, this is Ellen the Marvelous, the Movie Gangstar. And I'm here again with another review on From TV show, and still I'm going to discuss more on Victor and his dirty little secrets to reveal more on what's going on really behind the scenes, and after all, I'm going to important events and facts through this TV show all seasons to declare what has happened in real at the end. Before I'm getting back deeper into the show, first please hit the thumbs up and like the video. Subscribe to my channel to support my channel, and as all of my reviews are connected to each other somehow, don't forget to push the notification bell to be informed of all of my reviews, breakdowns and videos as I uploaded them. As I mentioned in my last review I made, as Victor finds out that two cars have arrived to the town in a car crash at the same time, he just found that pattern similar to what was happened to him and his family. And as Ethan was a child in his age when he was arrived there, of course, in a car crash, he decided to use Ethan by using his youthful energy to manifest the bow invite back to Fromland. In episode 4 season 1, when he meets Ethan at a diner and brings him the drawing of the bow invite, it's obvious that he wants to make sure of what Ethan has seen through the jungle by the colony house. It didn't matter to him if he got beaten by Jim, he just wanted to make sure about the bow invite. By the way, he took the revenge later by removing Jim from this scene. However, still I cannot tell that he has got revenge on him. He just wanted to make a balance in Fromland population because he didn't want to change. He didn't want to accept that change was coming through Fromland.
The peaches are gone. All these years, that's the one thing that's never changed. Now they're gone.
The moment he found that the peaches are gone, he decided to make a massacre plan to stop change in a revengeful way. Also here, I need to mention up another fact about Jim being removed in Fromland. As Victor's father, Henry, was not a part of Fromland captive people at the first time, but Ethan was arrived there all together with his family. And now, as Henry, Victor's father, is in Fromland, Victor can get benefit of his presence to remove Jim as Ethan's father to swap his place in Fromland with Ethan. Also, it seems he has done a favor to Tabitha as a thank you for getting his father back to Fromland by this way. But Victor is so naive and stuck in old patterns. He is an adult, but he acts as a child, thinks as a child, talks as a child. And now he believes just because of his father Henry is present in Fromland, Jim as Ethan's father has to be removed from the scene. This is not only repeating an old pattern, but is a childlike jealousy that Victor is acting like. It seems he is a lost child, exactly the same with those children who were hanging out with Peter Pan in Neverland. Now there might be a question, how type of change Victor was resisting on? As Matthew's family arrived to the town, everything got changed. They were a loving family, and we saw Tabitha and Jim was facing their own weaknesses, and they both were trying to protect their children and family, and it was a huge power within the community. As you see, they are preparing for an anniversary party all together, happily ever after, but Victor is sad. There is no more peaches and cream. I have made my last review, but now I think it was hidden agendas in the middle. From one side, it was Victor who was not satisfied with everything going on in this town. Jim was restricting Ethan and protecting his family, the exact thing Victor's father never did. And Victor was a type of person who was jealous and already wanted everything only for himself. And imagine how it could be great if he could remove everyone in this town and took everything precious they had. If you take a look to that suitcase Victor had with himself, with all those hidden things from the other people inside. As I explained before, in Season 1 Episode 4, the beginning scene where the root cellar's door opens and we see young Victor coming out for the first time, I even discussed on camera angles to show what a delusional scene we were facing with. To only show you how Victor sacrificed everyone to be the only one in the town who has a friend as a boy invite, who is smiling at him, waving hands for him, inviting him to play, and there is no one else but them both. Everything is his now. Victor is a pathological liar who is wounded in his childhood, maybe by a dark event, such as child abuse, and after telling his biggest lie, he has come out of the root cellar and sees everyone has died. And the moment he sees all those shattered dead bodies on the ground, you can see the horizon beyond cuts to the next shot, which Victor's shocked face. It's the exact moment of causing trauma on him. Then we see him going to the diner after Ethan, first to make sure if he has seen the boy invite too, and then he goes quietly back by the window and calls him to join him in a quest through the forest. He is manipulating Ethan only to follow him. Ethan has a yellow jumper on. They go to the forest, and this is a faraway tree they see in the middle of the forest, which Victor claims that he has never knew of this tree here. He's lying. He picks a stone, he draws a yellow smiley face on it and drop it into the tree. In the meanwhile, we see the tree throws the stone back, and it seems Victor has got the permission. The boy invite appears as he is wandering around into the forest. During the series, we never saw the boy invite talking to Ethan, but he has talked only to Victor, Sarah, and after all, Tabitha. I guess a boy invite is there only to clean Victor's messes. In Season 1 Episode 4, we see Victor is digging too many graves around the colony house, which makes everyone shocked, also Donna. Victor is manifesting death and massacre to the colony house while digging all those graves, and as he claims to Donna himself, he is preparing for the massacre. I discussed on how Father Guthrie was died before, and after that we had Boyd and Sarah went to the forest together. We saw the boy invite appeared in front of Sarah and Boyd, and only Sarah could see him, could hear him, but the connection was only a mind connection, and she could hear the boy invite only. The boy invite's lips is not moving, and Sarah only can hear him inside of her mind. And don't forget that Sarah saw the boy invite only this time, but she could hear him inside of her mind from before. As I mentioned in my last reviews, the voice who was convincing her to kill the boy was the boy invite, who was manipulating Sarah through his mind to kill Ethan. And we saw this went wrong, and Father Guthrie would catch Sarah locked up in the church's basement. The exact place where Victor had his bad memory, or it's better to say his last memory, who he pretended not remembering on that. Victor is a drama king. Now, after what I've discussed on the Colony House massacre at Fatima's anniversary party, I bet this is Victor who is abusing everyone to get to everything he wishes for. And now he is looking for revenge out of Father Guthrie, who has done the same with children at the church basement. He used Sarah to create such a harsh false crime in the town, and then used Father Guthrie to declare her name, and then murdered Father Guthrie on purpose. And now, getting back to the scene in Season 1 Episode 9, when Boyd and Sarah wandering deep into the forest, and Sarah sees the boy invite guiding her towards the faraway tree. I believe this is Victor who wants to save them and tries to manipulate Sarah's mind again to guide them towards the tree. And we see Sarah got back to the church basement, but Boyd ends up in the middle of an ancient dungeon visiting Martin and exchanges those worms with him to bring to the town. If you do a check on all massacres and bloody incidents through the show, you can see every time a happy smile has turned into a dark incident. I guess this is Victor, who is feeding off all of residents' energies and weaknesses to use and gain control. And imagine there is a boy invite who is guiding Victor through all these shits. The eldest image we have from the boy invite is from Victor's memory in the church basement, where he tells Sarah and Tabitha that he saw when he entered quietly in the church basement. Who knows exactly what has happened to Victor in the church basement, and how it happened that he claims it was Christopher in the church basement who was talking to the boy in white. Who was Christopher in real, and what was about Christopher which was made Victor to envy him that much, to tell such a huge lie to his mother and made her to go to the lighthouse to save those children and cause death not only to his mother but to his sister Eloise and the whole town. And why, as he hurts everyone else, he is trying to save Sarah indeed. What does he know about Sarah, and why he caused Nathan, Sarah's beloved brother, to be killed? Why he wanted Sarah isolated and alone? It's because jealousy. Of course, he wanted Sarah to be desperate, alone and broken, only to empower her and made her to be on his own way and his own story. I said story, yes, let's talk about that. In the pilot episode, we are introducing to Matthew's family in the RV on the road. We see Julie is playing with Ethan dolls and tries to change the narrative of Carmichael's story in a scary mood only to make a joke and scare her beloved brother Ethan. The next moment, this is Ethan grieving for Carmichael, who has just been murdered by her own sister. Here, both Tabitha and Jim began to discuss on that, as we see they both have different comments on Carmichael's death. Now, this is Julie has made the story narration and the plot has been created. And here, this is only Ethan who didn't like the destiny Julie presented for Carmichael to be a sacrifice and was insisting on bringing Carmichael back to life. Next scene, we see them by the fallen tree in the middle of the road. In between, this is only Ethan who has enough courage to get closer to the tree by Jim's help, and now crows in bunch have been appeared all around, which doesn't seem right at all. They all feel bad and get back to the RV trying to escape and find a way out. Next moment, they are passing by a little town over and over again. Now they have stuck in farmland and it's a sudden shock, as Ethan still has conflict on Carmichael's destiny. This is only Jim who is reading the book for Ethan as it is. But Julie tried to manipulate the story by her own, and here where the Storybacker character is creating from the beginning. From the first review I made on this TV show, I referenced all events to the pilot episode. You can find all clues there. As we see in Season 3 episode finale, Ethan claims Julie how she has become a storyboker. Ethan believes that she can go back and watch the past, but she can't change anything that has occurred in the past. Exactly as everyone has a life path and a pre-written story and destiny in life which can't never be changed by any external forces. Ethan is using his own logic on that, as he has seen his sister before change the destiny of Carmichael and it was against the written story. Also, there is a definition of Once Upon a Time about all tales and stories as happily ever after. There are fascinating alternatives to Once Upon a Time all around the world. There are different versions on how a fairy tale ends in different cultures and countries. For example, in English and many European languages, it's they lived happily ever after, or a near equivalent. But if you are more surprising, in French, a tale often ends with and they married and had many children. In German, the classic ending is and if they haven't died, they are still alive today. In culture, Persian, there is a phrase which all fairy tales end with. The story ended and the crow never did his way to his home. A rhyme is often used to tell the listeners that the story is over. The rhyme is more important than the meaning. And now it makes sense why they arrived to the tree in the middle of the road, and all of a sudden lots of crows appeared around. They couldn't reach their home, as so the crows, and it means these crows are spirits. Ethan is obsessed with Carmichael's story, and as everyone has its own story and hero, may the others also have their own stories, all in different languages. And maybe this is why Jade sees a Civil War soldier appear from the middle of nowhere, attacking him like that. But which story is dominant one? That's the important fact, and I believe everyone who has met the boy in white has this ability to change their story and narration, of course. After all, in Season 2 episode finale, we see Sarah is working as a messenger between worlds and the messages stop the music. As we see Boyd is breaking the music box and only could save Julie, Randall and Mariel. Also, cicadas been disappeared. It means the music box belonged to the narration where cicadas attacked and a demonic force imprisoned 3 people in a bond together. I bet Music Box was only a chapter of this complicated story. By the way, everyone has its own story here, and this is Victor who is manipulating everyone through his own storyline. And here Sarah is the one who has a very powerful innocent mind as a clairvoyant, and Victor is using her as well. And this is why he brings the sweetcakes to her, creates fortress hidden in the basement and opens it. He is making a bargain with Sarah and tries to use her imaginations through his storyline as well. Sarah had this ability to touch the object and manifest the memory again into reality. And Victor opened that suitcase only because he wanted to see her reaction to a very special object he needed as a trigger. And as he got his answer, he began to yelling, nagging and sabotaging the fortress. He just wanted everything to be over. When he goes to Sarah with that dummy doll in his arms and Sarah was trying to help him remember, he remembered, but he wanted Tabitha only to join them, to begin his dirty emotional manipulation on her until the time when Tabitha thought Victor's arm and could remember a flash memory. Next time we saw, he hugged him and Victor put his head on her chest. She could feel his mother and see his memory. And I mentioned about Victor's mother dead as a fake memory, because we never saw those monsters run towards their sacrifices. It seemed Victor was in a hurry when projecting his fake memory on Tabitha because he wanted them out of the root cellar as soon as it's possible. And because of that, we saw Smiley Monster was running towards Miranda to catch her. Victor is a drama king. He is manipulating everything in the way he wants to be. I don't like to condemn Victor and say he's a bad guy. As we saw, Henry went to Jade as he was building up a bottle tree asking about Victor. Jade gave him the best advice and comment ever. Victor has grown like that. He has been here for many years and of course he's a part of this ecosystem. He is a wild child who has never been around civilized people, and imagine how it's been difficult to him to pass through all those disasters and living all alone in this dark place at the same time. A dark place he has created for himself all by his own, a memory he has been stuck into for many years, which has become his own worst fear, and now he is inviting all passengers with the same wounds to the mortal memory to join him on his own pity party. As I mentioned before, the time he met Julie and became aware about her arrival in a car accident, he remembered of his own memory. When he arrived here for the first time, he arrived to the town with his mother Miranda and his younger sister Eloise in a car crash, probably with Christopher's car in the exact same accident with what happened to Matthew's family. He only had the pattern in his mind, 2 cars in a car crash at the same time. And we see later he is eating his peaches when he's drawing the accident scene in front of the fallen tree, and there is a black smoke he is drawing in between cars. It means he's comparing the event to his own and is creating his own pattern, which is all about his own memory and has nothing to do with Matthew's family. You see, Victor thinks they are the same, but we see Eloise is younger sister, but Julie is elder. Also, Victor's father Henry wasn't there with them, as we see Jim was present with his family protecting them. All the night he was protecting his child beside Boyd and Chrissy. At the same time, Victor was making his own vision as a drawing. Here I like to mention you on synchronies and synchronicity in the show between events and scenes. In all episodes, always we can find at least 3 different storylines playing all together at the same time and gradually being connected. For example, in Season 1, Episode 7, in the night of massacre in Fatima's anniversary party at the colony house, everything happens exactly on the same time. Jasmine is looking towards the sheriff station, manipulating Father Cartridge's story as Kevin opens the window and lets her inside, and again, there is Julie and Victor in his room at the same time when monsters attacking. Donna takes people to the sheriff station and Victor sends Julie back through the faraway tree, and as monsters slay Father Cartridge, Ellis and Fatima have to stay together in a corridor stuck between monsters to freak out, and Ellis decides to marry Fatima. Because there must have been a marriage in Victor's version of the story, and a bride monster is a proof on that. Here, I need to take a deeper look into the underground tunnels, and through discussion, I'm going to discuss all about all type of entities and monsters we know in Farmland as well. But as I don't like this video becomes too long and confusing, you can watch the rest in another video which will be released in next few hours. In my next video, I'm going to zoom on Jade and what's going on with him too. And after all, we will take another look towards the Season 3 finale scene, which was interference of the man in yellow who killed Jim in front of his daughter in cold blood. Please hit the thumbs up if you like this video and like my video. Subscribe to my channel to support me, and as all my reviews are somehow connected to each other, don't forget to push the notification bell to be informed of all of my videos, reviews, breakdowns as I uploaded them. For now, love and light in peace, and see y'all in the next review.